And it came to pass at the end of 7 days that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to our Heavenly Father, whose name is YAHAWAH, and His only begotten Son, whose name is YAHAWASHI, to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. Shalom to all the sincere Akim out there listening to this message. Double honors to the elders, the bishops, the apostles, the great millstones, one who taught me this truth according to the Bible. Peace, salutations, blessings to all the sincere Akim out there listening to this gospel. Shalom, Israel. I want to thank the Most High, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, for giving me the inspiration to do this lesson. Shalom, Israel. First reading is going to be from going straight to the precept, to the point. Hope this lesson is edifying to the point. Got some stuff to cover here. From the Apocrypha, book of 2nd Ezra. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part the signs pass, which I have told thee before. How do you measure the times, right? By paying attention to the world news, what is linking it up with the Holy Scriptures, understanding what is happening. Because the day of the Lord is going to come like a thief in the night. Many people will not be paying attention to all the signs and all the stuff that's happening. The Lord has given us many, many, many clues and many, many warnings, giving us lots of time to repent and get our spiritual house in order, to return from our wicked ways. This is what Ezra saw. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently, not wasting it on TikTok, not wasting it on Netflix, not fooling around doing lawlessness. And when thou seest the part the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is this very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Yes, that is the Most High, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Right? With all the signs that are happening today in this world, all the calamities, all the wars, all the rumors of wars, all the plagues, all the pestilence. Yes, wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. This is the Lord's creation. This is the Lord's movie. Therefore, verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes. Let's pause that for 1 second here. Okay, so this is just, it says how many earthquakes occurred today alone. Okay, it says there have been 89 earthquakes in the past 24 hours. Okay, 720 earthquakes in the past 7 days, and 3,759 earthquakes in the past 30 days, and 52,546 earthquakes in the past 365 days. Yes, you're hearing that correctly. So these are all the signs, these are all the signs, these are all the wonders, these are all the things that are happening. The Most High has given us clues, and yet people are still not taking heed. It will be a very dreadful day for many. Lord willing, we are among that number. Speaking for myself first as a person. This is why I'm doing the work of the Lord. Prophesizing. The spirit of testimony of YAHAWASHI is the spirit of prophecy. Yes, these are prophecies. The Lord's word would not return void. Right? It says, verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Go back to verse 3 for a second. And uproars of the people in the world. Look at the article to your left. France and Italy to fly citizens out of Niger, as 2 West African nations back the coup. Okay? Little subheading. The French Foreign Ministry in Paris cited recent violence outside its embassy in Niger, capital of namely, as one of the main reasons for the evacuation. I'm going to play a little audio here for you guys. just so you get an understanding of what is going on in the world. Because the local mainstream media, they're corrupt. They're bought and paid for by the left-hand side, by the elite. So they control what they want to show you. Speaking boldly, I don't care if they give a strike. I don't own this video. This video is for edification purposes. I do not make any money from this video. This is just for lesson and teaching purposes, edification. I'm gonna play the audio. Take a listen.
Fly citizens out of Niger as 2 West African nations back the coup. France and Italy have announced plans to fly their citizens out of Niger following a military coup in the country. It comes after Niger's presidential guard surrounded the palace in the capital Niamey, detained elected President Mohamed Bazoum, and announced a new military government last week. The French Foreign Ministry in Paris cited recent violence outside its embassy as one of the main reasons for the evacuation of its citizens and European nationals. Italy's foreign minister also announced on Tuesday its government would arrange a special flight to repatriate its citizens from Niamey. Niger's neighbors Mali and Burkina Faso, meanwhile, have warned other West African nations against military intervention against the new junta. The West African regional body, known as ECOWAS, has previously threatened the use of force if coup leaders in Niger do not reinstate the country's elected president. 245. But Mali and Burkina Faso, themselves both run by military governments, have said they will consider any direct intervention in Niger as a declaration of war against them. The 2 countries, who are both currently suspended from ECOWAS, have also denounced the regional body's economic sanctions against Niger as illegal, illegitimate, and inhumane, and have refused to apply them. ECOWAS suspended all commercial and financial transactions between its member states and Niger, as well as freezing Nigerian assets held in regional central banks in the wake of the military coup. Niger, already one of the poorest countries in the world, has also faced cuts to foreign aid from Western nations following the military takeover. Mali and Burkina Faso, which neighbor Niger on its western border, have each undergone 2 coups since 2020. Both are currently suspended from ECOWAS as a result. What is ECOWAS? Standing for the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS is a trade bloc consisting of West African nations. Set up in 1975 and headquartered in Nigeria, its main aim is to make its member states, the majority of which are former French, British, and Portuguese colonies, self-sufficient. But ECOWAS also serves as a peacekeeping force in the region, with members able to send joint forces to intervene at times of unrest. Though the bloc currently has 15 members, for countries Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Niger are currently suspended following military coups. The regional body has also imposed sanctions against the 2 ruling juntas, but has never threatened to use force against them. Guinea, another country under military rule since 2021, has also shared its support of Niger's junta and urged ECOWAS to come to its senses. The sanctions measures advocated by ECOWAS, including military intervention, are an option that would not be a solution to the current problem, but would lead to a human disaster whose consequences could extend beyond Niger's borders, said Ibrahima Sori Bangura, general of the brigade, in a statement from the ruling party. He added that Guinea would not apply the sanctions. Condemnation from the West. Mr. Bazoum was elected 2 years ago in Niger's first peaceful, democratic transfer of power since independence from France, and was largely seen as a Western and regional ally in West Africa. On Sunday, anti-government protesters marched through the streets of the capital waving Russian flags and denouncing France. Demonstrators in Niamey converged on the French embassy and set fire to its doors, stoned the building, and burned the country's flags. Image Mohamed Bazoum, R. Pictured with Chad leader Mahamat Idriss Déby, L. Pic Mahamat Idriss Déby Facebook. Russian mercenary group Wagner is already operating in neighboring Mali, and its boss Yevgeny Prigozhin has hailed the coup as good news and offered his fighters services. The Kremlin said the situation in Niger is cause for serious concern, with spokesperson Dmitry Peskov saying that Russia called for all sides in the coup to show restraint. The coup in Niger has been widely condemned by neighbours and international partners, including the US, the United Nations, the European Union, and France. They have all refused to recognise the new leaders and have demanded the elected president's return. Image: Nigerian security forces prepare to disperse pro-junta demonstrators outside the French embassy in Niamey. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken commended the resolve of the ECOWAS leadership to defend constitutional order in Niger after sanctions were announced. He also joined the bloc in calling for the immediate release of Mr. Bazoum and his family. On Sunday, one of the leaders of the military coup, Colonel Amadou Abdrahmane, claimed the ousted government authorized France to carry out strikes to free the president. He alleged the Niger foreign minister, acting as prime minister, signed the order allowing France to take action. France, which ruled Niger as a colony until 1960, has 1,500 soldiers in the country. They had been conducting joint operations with its government, with protesters appearing to be against having foreign military forces in their country. The now ruling military has warned foreign governments against trying to free Mr. Bazoum, saying it would result in chaos and bloodshed. France's foreign ministry refused to confirm or deny that authorization had been made, telling journalists the only authority it recognizes is that of Mr. Bazoum. 129. Development aid suspended by France. Niger is one of the poorest countries in the world, receiving close to $2 billion, £1.6 billion a year in official development assistance, according to the World Bank. It is also a security partner of France and the US, which both use it as a base to fight an Islamist insurgency in West and Central Africa's wider Sahel region. Conflict experts say out of all the countries in the region, Niger has the most at stake if it turns away from the West, given the millions of dollars of military assistance the international community has poured in. Image: pro-junta demonstrators gathered outside the French embassy. France has suspended all development aid and other financial aid for Niger. The Elysee Palace said in a statement, anyone who attacks French nationals, the military, diplomats, or French interests will spur an immediate and uncompromising response from France. In the UK, the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office said in a statement that Britain condemns in the strongest possible terms attempts to undermine democracy, peace and stability in Niger.
Okay, I think that's the end of the article. 1 second, bear with me. Yep, so I know it was a bit 7 minutes and 15 seconds. I had to play the whole thing just so you get a good understanding. This was happening. So in these countries from Burkina Faso, Niger, alone, they have over 200 French companies. He said Niger is one of the most poorest countries in the world, right? All these countries, all these European nations, they get rich off the back of Africa and its resources. They destabilize these countries in the form of what's called their version of democracy, right? Basically means steal the resources. They throw something in the air, you look one way, they tell you look that way, and while you're turning your back, your resources is gone. This has been the playbook for these devils from generations. The poor country, they're doing all these things, and the reason why they're worried now, because all their resources, they steal all the resources and live like luxury back home in all these European nations, and this is how they all got rich. So now it is a problem, right? So these countries, these nations had enough. They teaming together. They had enough. Before the West always bamboozled them. Now they're shifting their focus towards more the East, towards Putin. So that's their belief in their mind. It is the less of the two evils, right? So this is what they believe. So they had enough. They had enough of being bamboozled, and you know what? You can't blame them, because all these countries, even the continent of Africa, is just so people don't realize this. But let's give you an example. Africa was named after a Roman general, Cyprico Africanus, right? So everybody's called himself African, but they don't realize it's a Roman guy who named this country, and this is what they call themselves, Africans, right? People are lost. So Psalms 49 verse 11. Their inward thought is, this is for these rich people. You know, this is how they continue to plumage and rape and rob and steal from the people. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They don't think they'll ever be taken down. You know, and this is why it says, and their dwelling places to all generations. And this is why they amass all the wealth. They pass it on to their young ones, and they continue to flourish in the system, while calling places like Africa and those areas shithole countries, third world under impoverished, because they benefit when these countries are down in the rubble, and they're getting the resources on pennies on the dollar, right? So this is the whole game plan of these devils, right? So now they're being exposed, and they can't afford, they're not going to go down without a fight. So this is all brewing, leading towards World War III, because now Russia and the mercenary group, the Wagner, they are already and they're already offering their assistance. So now, you know, these countries are like, you know what are the choices we have? They tired of one and they're going to the next, right? So in their mind, it's a less of different evils. It's like running from a lion. You run into a house and a bear bit you. You're running from a lion and a bear bit you. Continue running, and then a snake catches you. Pick your poison. That's at the end of the day what these guys are seeing. So this is why. So their inward thought is that their home shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, and that's why I mentioned to you earlier, Africa was named after Cyprico Africanus. These are very proud, you know, because this is when they conquer these nations and colonize them. They put their stamp and they put their names on these things, you know. So this is all the Lord's doing, because right now this is what is happening right now. The rich people in this world, they're getting nervous because they do know that we are that close to a third world war. We are that close, people. This is no lip service. Look at the biblical prophecies. Look at what is happening today. Look at all the earthquakes, all the wars, the uproars. People are getting angry. Look at all the inflation, all the cost of living. Everything is upside down. So you see, with all the rich people who get all the resources, they're getting nervous now. See, they're evacuating out of these places because they know it's not going to end good. People are fed up. What is happening right now? The elites right now, the rich of the world, they all have their doomsday bunkers. They have all these luxury bunkers that are into the very deep into the earth. So when they know all the nuclear destruction, their thought is that they're gonna go and hide in these areas. So when it's all said and done, they're gonna come back and rise like the phoenix bird and build back better. This is a slogan they use. Build back better, right? So this is their whole ideology. So let me show you a little idea here of let me show you a little example of the doomsday bunkers. Right? This is rich folks here. This is what they have. You gotta have money.
They were made to withstand a nuclear strike. But after being abandoned in the 60s, this one has been transformed into a 14-story luxury underground bunker, complete with a pool, garden, movie theater, and so much more, with the purpose of giving people a cool place to stay if, the world ended.
And we're gonna spend 24 hours here. And this is how you get in. Look how thick this is. You couldn't break into this if you had 1,000 years. Once we step inside and shut that door, we're stuck for 24 hours, okay?
Darn. Jeez.
Come on in, boys. The door's now closing, guys. That's a 16,000-pound door that just closed. 24 hours starts now. Let's go. Door number 2. There's another door. This place is so secure. It's crazy. Got it? Oh, my goodness. Look at this door. That's another thick door. Okay.
Here's another door. This is the 4th door that we've had to go through. Chandler, I'll let you do it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
He knows the secret combo. On the other side of this steel-bolted vault door is a pool, which only makes sense. Yo. Whoa! We should throw Chris in the water. Let's do it. Okay.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah. I'm locking you guys in.
Now I don't have to wash my clothes. This elevator goes 14 stories deep underground.
Whoa, that is very ominous. Come on in. Here is all the floors.
Security and sick bay.
Whoa. Look at that. That's incredible.
You can see everything going on here. This is crazy.
Everything in this area is monitored 24/7 with top-of-the-line surveillance.
As you can see, Chris is getting in the elevator. I bet you he Fortnite dances. He twerked. Oh, he's twerking. We're gonna go to floor number 4. Whoa.
Whoa.
Wait. So this is where they store all the food at. This is 47 servings of apples. Now let's talk about how we're in a store. Look at this.
Underground.
This is an underground fish market.
There's like multiple stories on this story.
How does this work?
Whoa.
Oh, holy crap.
Yo, is this real?
This is where they grow plants for the entire bunker. They literally grow everything here. And this is Dustin. He's going to answer our questions. Why are we growing all this?
If you were to be locked out from the outside world, you're going to need to grow your own plants, and you're going to be self-sustained. They grow the fish, and they use the waste from the fish to grow the plants, and they use the plants to grow the food for the fish.
Crazy how they have this self-sustaining way to grow food and do all this stuff for people. This is nuts.
Do you guys have any more questions?
Do fish get thirsty?
In the 1950s, and they were made to withstand a
Okay.
nuclear strike. But
Stop it right there. So most people are not aware of those things, okay? When I show people these things, they have not a clue what is behind the scenes. Most people have zero clue, okay? But if you think about it, the Most High YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI already knew he knows the thought of man before he even thinks it, right? So the Bible was written over 2,000 years ago. So, and it was prophesied that these guys would have done all these things. Well, they think that they're smart. The wisdom is foolish. Their wisdom is a foolishness to the Most High because they believe they can outsmart the Most High. Revelation 6, starting at verse 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. You know what the scroll is? If you search, I didn't do it on my article, but just if you do a mushroom cloud. If you look at the, you know what? Let's see. You know what? Mushroom cloud. Look at this, okay? Seeing is believing. Look at that. Mushroom cloud. That's what it looks like. That's from a bomb, okay? Atomic bomb, nuclear bombs, nuclear missiles, those type of, this is a nuclear destruction, right? Okay, it says, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it was rolled together, and every mountain and every island moved out of their places. Yes. So this is a worldwide event. You know, you can hide in the bushes, you can hide in the rocks, you can hide in the seas, whatever. And it says, and every mountain and every island were moved out of their places. This is from the destruction. Yes. Verse 15, and the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men. This is going back now to the doomsday bunkers, okay? All the rich men, the kings in the earth, all these guys who are in the so-called elites of this earth, and the chief captains and all the who's who of this earth, the celebrities and so forth, and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man. They're gonna have their servants down there working for them and working to do all the maintenance work and all the, the Joe jobs and whatever. Hid themselves in the dens of the rocks in the mountains, and this is symbolic to where they're going, because they know that. They know this is the prophecy. They call it doomsday bunkers, like doomsday thing, but this is it. The elites know. They on the left hand side, they know. It's only the simple that have no clue what is going on, because they give you all these sports. They give you all the movies. They give you all the stuff about Trump being indicted and being charged and further charged. They give you stuff about Trudeau, him and his wife splitting. It's pure rubbish, because what is really going on behind the scene, most people don't have a clue. Right now, this whole thing, America and Russia, the NATO, Russia, the BRICS, they're about to go to war, and it's prophesied that America will be destroyed, will be utterly destroyed, by Russia and its allies. You go into book of Ezekiel 38 chapter, Gog and Magog, that's Russia, the Medes, right? The Lord's going to put the spirit upon the Medes. Putin, he's going to put the spirit on these guys to take out America. And I mean, in the midst of all this war, in the midst of the Third World War, these nations, they're all gathering together right now in the Middle East. But in the midst of the Third World War, these nations will put their differences aside and fight the second coming of our Lord and Savior, YAHAWASHI HaMashiach. Sorry. So yeah, so right now the Lord is raising up the spirit in Putin to take down Babylon the Great, which is America. You know, just like how he did to Pharaoh back in the days. It's the Lord's movie. He can do exactly what he wants because it is his show. Since that I quoted that, I'm gonna go to book of second Ezra's. Give me 1 second here. Book of second Ezra's 13. Let's start at verse, I think let's go 8. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so this is why I was just talking about the this is what I was just talking about. After the nations will put the differences aside and try to fight the second coming of the Most High. And after second Ezra's 13, starting at verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight. Yes, all the nations going to see the clouds cracking. The Lord's going to come in with his army of hosts, all the UFOs. Salaki, that's what the Esau Edom calls them, all the chariots of Israel. That's what they call the UFOs. Okay, the chariots of Israel. The Most High is going to put the spirit on these nations to fight him, just to show his power. Right? Isaiah 63 verse 1. When the Lord comes, that's obviously it shows that the Edomites will be in rulership, and this is when it's going to be happening. So verse 9, and lo, he saw the violence of a multitude that came. He neither lifted up his hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war. That is the power, right? That's showing no weapons, but that's showing power. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it has been a blast of fire, out of his lips a flaming breath. And this is out of the chariots, right? And out of his tongue he cast out sparks of tempest. Just picture that for one moment. These are all the things that will be coming out of the chariots. The flames, the sparks, the tempest. It's going to be carnage, right? Verse 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight. See, so now they think that they because they have all this so-called nuclear technology, Russia have some supersonic ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles. One is called the Satan 1 and the Satan 2 of all the names. They also have another one called the Vanguard. These are like ultra fast, high technology, you know, because now they're prepared to fight the Lord, and burn them up, everyone, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, right? The Lord showing his power, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Ezra saw this in a vision, and he was afraid. So this is what is happening. This is what has happened. These nations are going to be coming up and thinking that they will be the next rulership, because this really, at the end of the day, America is losing its power, and Russia and China and all these other countries on the east side of BRICS, they think that they will be next in rulership. It's not going to be Russia. It's not going to be China. It's not going to be India. It's the YAHAWASHI's kingdom, right? Daniel 2:44. And this is it. All these kingdoms that were set up, they were given a time to reign. There's a time to rule, but there's a time for everything. There's a time for war. There's a time for peace. There's a time for love. There's a time for hate. So this is not. They think it's their time. So America will be destroyed off the face of this earth. Whether people can see that even in the spirit, or even understand it, even get the understanding through the Holy Spirit to even receive this message, it will go over maybe a lot of people's heads. So Isaiah, go to the book of Isaiah 13. Let's go to 17. Yeah, so I quoted earlier. I said Russia will be taking down will take down Babylon the Great. Isaiah 13 verse 17. Let's go with, so behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which is Russia, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. They're not going to care, and they shall have no pity upon the fruit of thy womb. They're not going to care about men, women, and it's in the next line, they eyes shall not spare children. They don't care, right? And Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So that's telling you right now that going back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by fire and brimstone. And this is what will happen to America. It will be left as a monument, right? This is what happened. So that back in those days, the Chaldees were the wisest men in Babylon. Now, today in modern day time, they're the so-called elites, you know, the people who rule this world. They know who they are. They know who we are. Don't get it twisted. They know. This is why even me, my little platform, everything is being shadow banned, because the truth will always be censored. That's how you know it's the truth. When you look at some, I'm not calling any name out there, I'm not putting anybody in the block, but here's the thing. There's some people out there have foolishness and follies and a bunch of vomit, and they literally have thousands and thousands and thousands. This is not a popularity thing. I don't care about those things, because this gospel is for who is intended for, right? So, you know, going back to these guys, you see, the Illuminatis, they know who we are. They're the ones who give us the name, so-called names, black, and all these bywords, just so we don't know our true power. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. You know, Illuminati simply means the illuminated ones, you know, the enlightened ones, you know. So they know. So all these countries here, they know who we are. Sadly, it's that when you tell someone the truth, they think that it's so far-fetched, because they've been so inundated with lies all their lives, right? Yeah, so where was I? So the Lord is bringing a destruction, you know, because all the wickedness and all the earth, and in the end, this is all about the controversy of Zion. It's about what these people have done to the Lord's chosen, you know, for the Israelites. So Second Ezra's, let's go with 15. I don't want to make this lesson too long. Second Ezra's 15. Let's go with start with verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. Right, this is what I'm doing right now. I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. The Lord is basically utilizing me right now as a messenger, as a prophet, to preach this message and to tell you what's going to happen, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. The Lord's word does not return void. Okay, fear not the imaginations against thee. Right, doesn't matter who you believe. If you believe, and all the people coming up with all the scoffers saying, yeah, right, yeah, whatever, fear none of those things. Let not the incredulity against them trouble thee. That means for all the unbelievers, you know, that speak against thee. It doesn't matter if you don't believe. Romans 3:3. So what if some don't believe, right? God forbid. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. It is going to happen. This Bible is the only book that can declare the end from the beginning. You know, no, I'm not even going to mention these other books, but I'll tell you, there's not another book out there that can prophesy these things that are happening. You are seeing everything that's lining up, scripture for prophecy, that's going on today. The church is not teaching these things. They teach prosperity gospel. They teach about lining their pockets to be continuing gain filthy lucre, right? Yeah, so if you don't believe, that's your point. You know, this is for the elect. This is a special VIP invitation. If you're here in this lesson so far, and you're listening to this and you're receiving this message, consider yourself blessed. Look at the sky, point to the sky, face the east, and say, Tawada, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Okay, because verse 4, 2 Ezra 15:4, this is what's going to happen. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Right? Behold, say the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. This is what's happening. The sword, modern day sword, is all the guns and the missiles and the rockets and nuclear destruction. Famine, death, and destruction, right? And here's the point I was trying to make, and this is the reason why these things are happening today. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. The Lord is angry, right? The Lord is angry. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue not no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. They don't care no more. Neither will I suffer them in those things, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain daily. Okay, so I'm going to go to a precept here that I just quoted out. So that was from 2 Ezra 15, and I was just quoting verse 8. So give me 1 second here. Let me give you, because it says the souls of the just complaining daily. Because if you like this system, there's a problem, because there's no sovereignty in this world. We're not free. It's okay. Ezekiel 9 verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right? These are the men of the Lord that are actually crying out to what is happening. You know, this is the men that are crying out for all the wickedness and all the injustice. And the mark is the tawah. That means the exempt from judgment. It's not the same mark in Revelation 13, 16, 13, 17. This is a different mark. This is the tawah. This is the men who be, you know, who the Lord, the elite in this time, will the Lord will protect, right? And that's the tawah. Because you see, I'll just go down for 2 more verses. It says, and to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither ye have pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man whom is the mark, and begin in my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient, which were before the house, right? So the Lord is bringing a lot of destruction. He's bringing a lot of judgment, and you know, people can say to themselves, you know what, this is not right, this is not whatever, but it's the Lord's movie, you know. So you can take heed to this message and start rehearsing the righteous acts as best as your ability. Yes, we're in captivity, so we still have to, you know, comply with some of the things of the system, because not everything we can do today, but we have to turn back from our wicked ways. The first thing is repenting, and the Lord is just the Lord is angry with all these nations because of this is a controversy of Zion, right? Zechariah 14 verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherein the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Okay, this is the reason why. This is all leading to this. I will read it again. And this shall be the plague wherein the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Remember, Jerusalem was a people before it was a place. It is the Israelites. It's the monument. Okay, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Right? You ask yourself, what would cause such carnage? Right? That is the fire of the missiles, okay? The total destruction. The nuclear war would cause, the only thing could cause this are except for even the lasers, right? You know, so this is for the controversy of Zion, because the Lord is not happy, you know, of all the wickedness that they have done. This is why I say this, and I'll just finish off the lesson here. I'm not sure. Okay, 37 minutes. So yeah, this is all for the controversy of this is all for the controversy of Zion. So right now these nations, they're gathering together in the Middle East, which is YAHAWASHI, which is the Valley of Decision, you know, in the Bible refers to as the Armageddon, right? And this is what's happening. So this is let me just go to one thing here. Okay, let's see. Joel chapter 3. Let's go with okay, let's go. Joel chapter 3, verse 9, starting at verse 9. Proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. So right, this is what's happening. All these nations right now, and if you look at I had it on a lesson a few lessons back, right? If you go right now to go into the Bible, you see the book of the Euphrates River drying up. You go on DuckDuckGo or Google search, Google the current state of Euphrates River, and it's pretty much a desert, right? So this is where the Valley of Decision is going to happen. So this is what's really happening right now. So it says, prepare a war, wake up thy mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. Yes, all of these nations that I even quoted earlier, from Niger and Burkina Faso and all these countries, these European nations, these are all French colonies, right? So France had a very strong hold on these nations for decades, pillaging, raping, robbing, stealing, every possible thing you can think of. You know, even set up businesses and exploiting the people, everything, right? So now these countries, they had enough. They're teamed up together, said we had enough, and they're now joining with the BRICS on the Russia side. So that's why it says, On the Joel 3 verse 10 says, "Let the weak say I'm strong," because now they have the big brother Russia who will be a god unto them, right? Will be protecting them. Yeah, so it says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, gather yourselves together round about thither, cause the mighty ones to come down, O Lord." Yes, because the Lord is bringing his angels and the mighty ones to come down, and this is gonna be the war of all wars, to settle all wars. This is it. This is the end of this age, which is Esau Edom's rulership. End of that kingdom, and the next kingdom, it'd be YAHAWASHI's kingdom, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Right. So, with all of that, I hope you've been edified. I went a little bit longer than I expected, but it is the Spirit. You gotta follow the Spirit and do what is best. But I hope you've been edified. I hope you got something out of this. Until the next one, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. Abarat is our Lord's willing.